Jesus loved us. To be like the love of Jesus, our love must be based on relationship, on mutual service, on respect, and on living together within a gathered community of the most unlikely companions. That means this leadership role, which Val and I now undertake, is not about personal success or ego, but a bigger bowl and a larger towel to carry as we kneel before people.
So, what do we dream of for the future story of the United Reformed Church? I would like to encourage us to reflect the excitement which comes from faith in an amazing God, to be confident about all we have to offer the world through lay people in churches large and small, through commitment to ministries outside the confines of local pastorates, and through commitment to the communities in which our lives are set. Vision for Life has been a force for good in equipping people through better biblical knowledge and new ways into prayer. As we approach the third year of Vision for Life, let's together build on the work already done, equipping people to tell their stories of faith with confidence, telling their stories of faith with confidence in the secular world, where God is already at work and eager for us to join him. We need a church where people are ready to deal with society, both the challenge which it poses to our faith and also the challenges which our faith poses to the society around us.
And what sort of church does God need us to be in the future to help people encounter Jesus and experience God's love through us? I believe we need to be a church with strong roots in the story of Jesus Christ and clear beliefs and values at the heart of what we are, what we do, and who we are. That central call will allow us to be open and welcoming to those who want to come to us, ask questions of us, and explore the nature of God with us. Congregations that are willing to work at being open and inclusive, while laying aside some of our tendency to judge and our internal insecurities, are likely to be healthy, welcoming places for people to get involved. Combining all those characteristics with our professed readiness to make new statements of faith in ever new obedience to the living Christ would allow us to embody both strength and flexibility in the future.
And it's not all going to be plain sailing. Sometimes we are too bent on making plans, putting big programs in place and looking for success. And sometimes I want to say, never mind the big visions. There are too many of those already, and God has the big one in hand. Whatever our plans, they must always be based on God's promises. Promises which will take us way beyond our wildest dreams. Who could have foreseen Moses as the leader he turned out to be? Or the possibility of the conversion of Saul? Would any of us have predicted that the despondent Elijah could have made any difference with his nation? Or that the stormy Peter would become such a loyal servant? And what about the resurrection? An event quite outside any of our restricted human imaginations, which are not big enough to perceive of what God has in store. What we need to do is concentrate on being transformative in our own places, ready to respond to even the most unlikely call from God, in the expectation that the outcome may look very different from anything we might predict. And maybe that is the only certainty. The future with God will be different.
To sum up, we'd like to share with you a poem by Chuck Lathrop, which I first read many years ago. It's a poem that seems to fit this occasion very well. It's called In Search of a Round Table. Concerning the why and how and what and who of ministry, one image keeps surfacing: a table that is round. It will take some sawing to be round-tabled, some redefining and redesigning, some redoing and rebirthing of narrow, long churching can painful be for people and tables. It would mean no dancing and throning. For but one king is there, and he is a foot washer at table, no less. And what of narrow, long ministers when they confront a round table people after years of working up the table to finally sit at its head, only to discover that the table has been turned round? They must be loved into roundness, for God has called a people, not them and us. Them and us are unable to gather round, for at a round table there are no sides, and all are invited to wholeness and food.
At one time, our narrowing churches were built to resemble the cross, but it does no good for building to do so if lives do not. Round tabling means no preferred seating, no first and last, no better, and no corners, for the least of these. Round tabling means being with, a part of, together and one. It means room for the Spirit and gifts and disturbing, profound peace for all. We can no longer prepare for the past. To be church, and if he calls for other than a round table, we are bound to follow, leaving the sawdust and wood chips, designs and redesigns behind, in search of and in presence of the kingdom that is his and not ours.